When Sarah Burke strapped on her skis, it was an act of freedom. For this daring young woman from Canada, the sloped contours of a halfpipe were her wings. As she shot up and over those icy walls, gravity lost its grip, and Sarah took flight. Though her time airborne lasted just seconds, she lived for those moments of weightless transcendence. Sarah was determined not just to fly herself, but to lift her sport of freeskiing to new heights, all the way to the Olympics. Her relentless efforts helped legitimize the renegade sport, and realize the once impossible dream of Olympic gold. But just days after her history-making achievement, tragedy struck. Sarah's story, one of courageous purpose and lofty vision, was cut painfully short. While her loss tore a hole in the hearts of all who knew her, Sarah's radiant spirit could not be dimmed. Hers is a story of daring greatly against all odds, and learning to fly in the face of fear. This is the true story of Sarah Burke. She was born to feel the thrill of flying. As a child growing up in Ontario, Canada, Sarah Burke was filled with a boundless energy and curiosity. While other kids her age were content staying on the ground, young Sarah was drawn to the heights. She fearlessly climbed trees, jumped off swings, and leapt into leaf piles, always seeking that fleeting moment of suspension, when gravity relinquished its grip. That hunger never left her. As a teenager, Sarah found her calling on the ski slopes. While most young mogul skiers stuck to the bumpy trails, Sarah was irresistibly pulled to the halfpipe. Staying late after practice, she would sneak onto the snowboarder's terrain, drawn by the curved walls that seemed to defy earthly constraints. From her very first run, Burke was hooked on the feeling of freedom that came from flying up and over the pipe's lip. Freestyle skiing became her life's calling. Freestyle skiing is a gravity-defying spectacle of athletic artistry. Athletes flip, spin, and careen down icy slopes and haypipes at breakneck speeds. Performing breathtaking tricks with names like the Flare Oslo and 720 Rodeo, freestyle skiers fly up to 50 feet in the air while maintaining precision control. Halfpipe is freestyle's most iconic event, with skiers zooming back and forth to gain momentum for huge inverted aerials. Freestyle competitions judge athletes on technical difficulty, originality, and clean execution. It's a daring fusion of extreme sports and aerial ballet. When Burke started competing in the late 90s, freeskiing was still seen as a fringe activity, without the prestige of Olympic sports like figure skating. Athletes were viewed as reckless hot dogs, lacking discipline and training. But Burke saw the breathtaking artistry and precision behind maneuvers like the halfpipe and slopestyle. She had the vision to see freeskiing's Olympic potential, long before anyone else did. Through fierce talent and grit, Burke gained respect for the sport's incredible skill. She lobbied successfully for its inclusion in the X Games, proving women could compete alongside men. Her gold medals and world titles erased any doubt about freeskiing's validity. When the IOC finally voted to include it in the 2014 Olympics, it was a hard-won victory for legitimacy that Burke had devoted her career to achieving. Without her tireless advocacy, freeskiing might still be struggling at the sidelines, instead of soaring on the world stage. Sarah wasn't satisfied to just fly alone. She wanted to show the world the beauty of flight. At competitions, she dazzled with her courage and skill. Her signature 540 flat spin was a blur of momentum, as her body spun round and round before landing light as a feather. Fans were awed not just by what she could do, but the grace and passion she did it with. Throughout her storied career, Sarah Burke earned some of the highest honors in her sport, for her groundbreaking skills. She was crowned the Women's Halfpipe World Champion at the 2005 FIS Freestyle World Ski Championships, becoming the first female skier to win this title. Burke's dominance at the X Games was unmatched. She captured 4 straight gold medals in the Superpipe from 2005 to 2008. Her stunning tricks like the 1080 spin made Burke a fan favorite. She was named the 2007 ESPY Award winner for Best Female Action Sports Athlete, beating out top contenders like surfer Lane Beachley. Burke's skill and style earned her the 2001 and 2005 inaugural Women's Halfpipe Champion titles as well. Still, competitions were just playing at the edge of the sky. Sarah dreamed of soaring even higher. She was convinced her sport of freestyle skiing could go to the same stratospheric heights as snowboarding. And the Olympics was the ultimate summit. Moved by her vision, Sarah dedicated herself to making that dream reality. Through endless meetings and proposals, her perseverance opened the IOC's eyes to see the breathtaking possibilities of her sport. As Peter Judge, CEO of Canadian Freestyle Ski Association said, she always asked, why not? It was, why not ski with the men? Why not be in the Olympics? Pushing the boundaries of freestyle skiing, Sarah Burke suffered her share of injuries. In 2009, she fractured a vertebra in her back after an awkward crash, while competing in slopestyle at the X Games. Though the injury required a back brace and rehabilitation, Burke recovered, and was skiing again within the year. Other than some minor knee injuries and strained muscles, Burke managed to avoid major harm for most of her career. When the announcement came that the halfpipe would debut for the first time in the 2014 Olympics, Sarah was euphoric. After years of helping her sport find its wings, it would finally get to fly before the whole world. As she hugged her fellow skiers, the tears that ran down her cheeks were not just of joy, but relief. This had been her dream, her baby, and now it could stand on its own. In the months that followed, a deep contentment seemed to settle on Sarah. She had given everything to see her passion get its moment in the sky. Now she could simply enjoy the ride. Her spirit bubbled over with gratitude at the community she shared this journey with. She traveled the world performing in shows, and holding clinics, giving back all she could. Watching the next generation begin their flight filled her with pride. On January 10, 2012, Sarah Burke was training on a 22-foot halfpipe at Park City Mountain Resort in Utah, preparing for her Olympic debut. She was executing her signature trick, a 540-degree flat spin, that she had performed flawlessly countless times before. Burke completed the spin, but crashed headfirst into the hard-packed snow at the bottom of the pipe. At first, the accident didn't look serious. She was awake and able to move her extremities. But minutes later, she shockingly went into cardiac arrest, requiring CPR by emergency personnel. Burke was airlifted to a hospital in Salt Lake City in critical condition. Doctors performed surgery to repair a ruptured vertebral artery, but tests showed she had sustained irreversible brain damage from oxygen deprivation. For 9 agonizing days, her loved ones kept vigil at her bedside, as she remained on life support. Despite the best efforts of her medical team, Sarah Burke tragically succumbed to her injuries on January 19, 2012, at just 29 years old. Sarah's loved ones and the greater community were overcome by the loss. Though her dear friend took her ashes to spread over Sochi's mountains during the Olympics she never saw, it was little comfort. The world felt darker without her inspiring spirit soaring overhead. But even the deepest grief could not eclipse Sarah's radiance for long. As the sadness began to lift, people saw her story clearly for what it was, a testimony to chasing dreams without fear. Sarah showed the world the power of one woman's unwavering vision. She carved a path to heights no one saw possible, never wavering in her quest to lift her sport and community with her. The soaring legacy Sarah leaves behind cannot be measured by medals or wins alone. It lives in the girls who chase their wildest dreams, unbound by limits of the expected or ordinary. It dances in the boundless grace of freeskiing athletes as they ascend to unimaginable heights. And it whispers in the determination of pioneers everywhere, a reminder that with faith and tenacity, we can all help each other find wings. Sarah Burke's spirit will always be there at the lip of the pipe, waiting to catch those brave enough to make the leap. Though she is gone too soon, the endless sky awaits. All we need do is follow her bold, fearless lead, and fly.